Hi everyone, this is part of our Law in a Box series, which is a new concept for us at Legally Yours. And what we've done is we've actually invited a whole heap of our channel partners who are top of their game in terms of services that they can provide. Any of you sitting out there who are perhaps quite disgruntled or frustrated, or you're sitting in an in-house role or in a large tier firm and you really have a passion, you love what you do with the law, but you might want to start your own firm. But we understand there's a lot of fear with that, and that sometimes to take that leap and do it is incredibly difficult. So what we want to achieve in this series is to sort of say to you out there, we've got lots of services, lots of support, lots of different things that you can tap into that can hopefully then enable you to feel empowered enough to start your own firm. So part of that is actually why I've got Liz Harris here today from the Innovim Group. So what we wanted to talk a little bit about is when you start your own firm, pricing, because that's normally something that a lot of people have fear around. If you've only ever worked in a firm or within an area where it's billable hours and that's how you do it, I can imagine that there's a lot of fear around then how do I start? So I guess my question to you, Liz, is, okay, so I have just started my own firm. I've decided I'm going out there, it's a commercial law firm. What sort of things do I need to think about in terms of my pricing?
It's interesting because pricing is part and parcel of your marketing, your message, your positioning.
Absolutely. So it's really good to do this before you even start the other aspects.
Absolutely. And that positioning point is probably where I would be starting anyway. But it then ties into what your pricing message is.
Yes.
We are very much of the view that if you've got the opportunity, particularly when you're starting a new firm, you price in a different way, because it's going to differentiate you from everyone else out there in the marketing who's back on the old billable hours.
Yes.
And so value pricing, not necessarily fixed fee pricing, value pricing is a great way to go.
Absolutely.
Learning how to have that value conversation with your client at the outset, again, it is an incredible way of differentiating yourself and creating trust with the client.
Yes.
Giving the client certainty, but you also do need to learn how to scope work, how to project manage that work, how to manage the way you deliver the work in a way that actually ensures you're getting value out of it. In other words, you're making a profit.
Absolutely, and not underquoting. And I think, you raised a really good point there, because it's the value conversation. We as a profession have never been taught the art of the value conversation, because we've always just been taught it's to do with hours and input. So starting off, and you've mentioned, that value conversation, it really comes back to also probably even a step before that, thinking about who your client is, because client value pricing, it's all tied up, yes?
It's quite interesting. There's an international pricing consultancy who have analysed different buyer types. And we intuitively know, you have bargain hunters, you have the Apple loyal buyer types, the indifferent, the risk avoiders and so forth. But we don't think about that in the terms of clients. But this is where your positioning is. Fine to say I'm attracting bargain hunter clients, so long as that's my message, my positioning, and I deliver my services in that way.
Absolutely.
For many of us, that's not where we choose to be. So part of it is, as you say, that client selection and understanding how clients make purchases, the impact of behavioural economics. It's something that's really missing from most lawyers, in understanding that most of the time price is a really minor part of the equation. And if you can develop trust, if you can reduce that risk of the choice about who they retain, then price fades into the background.
Absolutely.
So
I absolutely love it. And would you say, particularly of that person that's sort of starting out from scratch, to be able to start in this way, it's often easier than if you sort of, we do see is a lot of people start up their own firms and they kind of do a bit of a hodgepodge, and the urgency to get to market, and then they're there, and then they're sort of working with these hybrid models of, well, I sort of do hours and I sort of fix, but it's actually good to actually put some thought into it, isn't it? And start off that way, and you actually save, ironically, a lot of money doing it from the beginning. Yes,
absolutely. And look, there is no doubt that if you actually want to value price properly,
yes,
then you abandon tracking time.
Yes.
Because they are not connected.
Okay.
They are not connected. And it's very hard for lawyers who have been in that billable hour model.
Yes.
And want to abandon it, want to price in a different way,
yes.
but still keep tracking time. It's hard mentally to move away
yes.
from calculating price implicitly by reference to how much time you're going to spend. And that's not how a client actually sees value.
No.
So, you know,
so
for many of us,
yes.
we underprice.
Yes.
We underprice.
Yes.
We underprice when we track back to time.
Yes.
You know, I always use that example of the tax lawyer who, because of experience, in half an hour saves a client $10 million.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
you know, boy, the client's got a great outcome.
That's right. What's the value to that client?
Exactly.
Yeah,
even
you're
if
charging
it's $1,000 an hour. They're charging it's $500 to save $10 million.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
So,
yes.
But it comes back to also part of it is we need to actually have that implicit confidence in the value that we're delivering.
That's right. And you can teach the art of the value conversation, which is just brilliant. So if you're out there and this is resonating, I think that, you know, what Innovim Group provides, and they can actually do a whole sort of range of different services in order to help you get to this point when you're starting off in your firm. Please contact us, Innovim Group, innovim.com.au, under our Law in a Box series, but all the information is there. Thank you so much, Liz, for joining us. So valuable. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.